Hello all, Jamie Rodgers here, bringing you a brand new die of the week, which of course is with Craftmania. Now this week's die we are looking at is an incredible die designed by Sue Wilson. It is from her Belgian collection and we have got this beautiful Bruges die. There are 6 different dies in this set, giving you so many possibilities on what you can be creating with it. As you can see, it's actually quite a large format die and it's incredibly ornate. It really is beautiful and it works, of course, portrait or landscape, so there's a lot of ways you're going to be able to use this one to get the most out of it. Now, anytime we bring you a die of the week, we bring you an amazing offer as well, and this week is no different. We've no exceptions here. This one again, you are going to be spending less than you're saving. I think I've said that right. Basically, in short, this one is $7.99 and it should be $17.99, so you're saving a tenner and only spending $7.99 to get your hands on it. That's the way we like to shop, isn't it? Always when I can see that I'm going to be saving more than I'm spending, I know that I've got a good bargain. Now, of course, at Craftmania, because this is over £5, you're also going to qualify for free UK P&P. So you won't have to pay a penny if you live in the UK more than your $7.99, and you're going to get this delivered directly to your door. Now, if you would like to purchase this from anywhere in the world, that's no problem. We do ship completely worldwide, and your P&P is capped at just £10. If you'd like to know more about that, check out the website and go to the customer service tab and it will tell you how all our international shipping works. But in short, it's capped at most being £10. If we find your P&P cheaper than that, we'll actually refund you the difference. If it's more than that, here at Craftmania, we will pay that for you. Now, the last bit I need to tell you before we delve in and have a look at the samples and lots of sort of orientations that we can use our die to get creative with is where to find this. So head onto the website www.craftmaniacrafts.com. Across the top of the page, if you're on a desktop, or on your drop down menu if you're on a mobile device, you will find the word YouTube in the menu. Give that a click and it will take you through. There's all different pages set out for you. You of course want the die of the week with this picture, and then that way it will take you through to a page, and on that page everything I've used on the samples I'm about to share with you, embossing folders, flowers, all of the finishing touches, all of the card, all of the gems, is all on there, so you don't have to go traipsing around the website to find it all. It's all on that one page for you. That will of course be a direct link in the description to the video as well, so if you don't want to go and try and find it, then find the direct link in the description and it'll take you directly there. So let's delve on in and have a little look at what you could be creating with this die, and of course all the options you've got with them 6 dies and what you could be creating. So as I mentioned, 6 different dies in this set. Now, just as a quick sort of breakdown, that means we have an outside edge, we have an inner filigree panel, we have our middle outside edge, then we have another filigree panel, then we've got a smaller inside edge, and then we've got the main focal point in the middle of that filigree panel. Now, when I actually bring in the different dies, hopefully that might make a bit more sense. And I'll talk to you a little bit about some of the options you could create with these. So for instance, this is your large filigree panel. This is your outside edge. Now this filigree panel, same with all of the others actually, all 3 of these, will of course stay in your cardstock because they've all got separate outside edges. So if you wish to cut that as a panel, like you're going to see on some of my cards, you can leave that directly in the card and it will stay there. It's only when we start introducing these outside edges that that's going to come out as a freestanding item, meaning that you can create some really delicate filigree cut cardstock just by leaving off them outside edges. Now, of course, lots of options with these, but we can also create frames by bringing in that filigree panel and cutting out the centre of it, whether we'd like to have this as a freestanding item by using that outside edge, or maybe you'd like to take that away, cut that part into your card and actually have that as an open aperture to hang something, or to have a little window into your card, or lots of other options. It also means that we can use these to layer with as well. So we might choose to actually leave that as a solid centre and then start cutting these ones out with the outside edges and stacking these actually up on top of what we're doing. So we could do these in different colours or different styles and layer them up. It also means by having these separate outside edges, that if you wish to cut that with the filigree in maybe black and then put a white layer underneath it so it shines through, just use this one to cut the white and you can place it underneath. So many different ways in which you can start stacking these and layering them, or cutting them inside each other, or cutting them out. And of course, like we have here, we can take those pieces in and cut them out. We can also do the same with the smaller ones. So you might wish to have that as just a panel on its own, leaving that centre as a really nice filigree piece, or of course cutting that one out as well. So as a scrapbooker, I love this set because I could see how I can be starting to create frames to go all through my albums. It also means that I can use these same panels to create little journaling pieces to coordinate with my frames, or of course take those out and actually add little sort of titles onto my frames instead. And yet all the shape, all the style, all the design is going to match perfectly throughout. So when we talk about options and ways in which you're going to be able to layer these and create with them, there really is an incredible amount of options in how you're going to take them 6 dies and sort of change them to create with. But I've made a few samples, and this is just a few samples to give you a few ideas. And these can be really simple like this one here. So I've just used the outside edge, all 3 of the filigree panels together, cut that in coconut white, also cut it in gold mirror card, and just drop shadowed the gold one underneath the coconut white one. I've stuck to just a simple embossing folder, added on a couple of flowers and stamped a little sentiment on a panel to go on the side here, and coordinated my colours going through my mats and layers to match in with my flowers and of course my focal frame. Now again, different idea for you, slightly different, is cutting out that central piece using that more sort of middle die, that outside edge, trimming that out of both layers, A, the filigree one here, and B, the one underneath, which is the pink one. The pink one is just created with that inside edge and outside edge, and then I've foam padded the filigree one on top, so we've got that lovely shadow and we've got the colour come through at the same time. It also gives us a place to locate our sentiment and our banner bar. I've also then added on some die cut decoupage, and I've just layered this onto an embossed panel and colour matched my picture through into the sentiments and into the mats and layers. Another colour I absolutely love working with, and you've probably seen a lot of this on the channel and on my samples on Facebook before, is Periwinkle Blue. It's one of my all-time faves. So this time I've used one of my Reef floral sets, and I've actually trimmed it around to make this corner element instead, and I've layered that on top of our die of the week. And the die of the week I've just cut from gold mirror card using all 3 of the filigree panels and just one outside edge. And then for the base panel, I've just cut it from coconut white with just the outside edge. So we've got that coconut white shining through from under here. I've then used an embossing folder and added on a little sentiment to finish that one off. So real quick, simple creations. For this one, I've gone slightly differently. I've taken a stitched rectangle, I've cut that, and then on the insert of that, I've used all 3 of the filigree panels and cut and left them in the cardstock. I've then decorated up with a flower, some leaves and a little sentiment to coordinate, and layered all of this together with our lovely wisteria cardstock. Again, another one of the colours I like to go back to time after time. Something I don't often do but really should do, because I like it when I've done it, is working just monochrome blacks and whites. And that's what I've done this time. I've brought in my lovely lady here from our wedding die set, or our couple die set. I've added on a flower, a little bit of foliage, a little stamped sentiment. And then for our die of the week, I've cut in black and white, and I've used all of the panels to create the background, using just the outside edge to cut the white one to go underneath it. And then of course in the centre here, I've just used these 2 panels and I've cut both of them together out of black, just that part out of white, and stuck them 2 together. And then brought in some foam pads just to raise that one up so we've got a bit more dimension, which is the beauty of this die set, because of course we could have done the same with that middle element as well to really bring that forward if we wanted to. I've then used an embossing folder in the background, but instead of using it as the emboss, I've used it as the deboss instead, and found that that made quite a nice panel to actually build up on top of. Then on to our next card. So for this one, I've actually brought in some of our 12x12s. I don't know if you've noticed on the website, but we've actually added over 200 12x12 papers from all different designers to give you a great taste of some of the 12x12s we carry. I've bought one of those in to add onto this card, and I've again gone for our die of the week, and I've done some slightly different things here. I've stuck to the pink layer being cut with just the outside edge, and then when we come up to the top layers here, I've cut all of the filigree layers with the outside edge in silver. And then for the top part, the very top part, I've just cut the outside edge, the first filigree, and the outside edge to the middle in white, and I've stuck that onto the silver one. So we've got that silver centre shining through, but we've got that little hint of silver shining through from underneath the white bits as well. I've added on a couple of butterflies, a little sentiment and a ribbon just to finish that one off. And then lastly, this one I've shared on our Facebook page, and they've all seem to really love this, so I'm hoping you will too on our incredible YouTube channel. This one, again, I've cut the rectangle out of gold pearl card using a stitched die set, and then I've cut in using all 3 of the filigree dies, and I've foam padded that over a piece of coconut white. So there's a bit of a height difference between the gold and the coconut white. And then I've just built up with some flowers, some foliage, and a little stamped sentiment to finish that one off. But I think why people have really loved this one is it's the colours. It's that antique gold with the more sort of bright mirror card gold teamed together with the navy and the white. It just sort of works together quite nicely. And again, very easy, very achievable for everybody to do, even beginners. It is just a little bit of die cutting and a few sort of built up flowers, a little bit of foam tape, and sort of that's it really, and a few finishing gems. So they're just the things I've created with this die set, but I think there are so many options in what you're going to want to be creating with this one. I feel once you've got your hands on this, you're going to have endless opportunities, whether it is scrapbooking, journaling, card making, home decor. I think this one's going to come in time after time. So if you do want to get your hands on this die, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, head on to our Craftmania website, www.craftmaniacrafts.com. and have a little look for the YouTube section where you will find the video link or the page link for this video, and you'll be able to get your hands on all of the goodies shown on these cards, as well of course as that die set as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all again very, very soon with our next video here on the Craftmania YouTube channel. Bye for now.